A Bulgarian split squat is very similar to a static lunge. The only difference is that the back leg is actually elevated when you're performing the exercise. So right here I actually have a bench with two different foot hook thingies, two different levels, and actually is convenient because if you're a beginner, you would want your foot a little bit lower. If you're more advanced, you can bring the foot up higher. It'll add an extra stretch on the hip flexors of that rear leg. So if you're at home, if you've never done this before, or only maybe a few times, pick something that's a little low, so maybe between 6 and 12 inches. If you get more advanced at it, pick something that's a little bit taller up. I probably wouldn't recommend anything taller than this. This is just over, maybe this is probably about 30 inches high, 24 to 30 inches high. So about here is going to be the max you want to go, but whenever you set yourself up, always lunging in a position where your feet are at least a hip's width wide. If you go too narrow, it's very difficult to keep your balance. So keeping that hip's width range, set up your front foot first. That's generally the easiest, and then reach yourself backwards. And then at this point, if you still feel that your stance isn't long enough, you can always reach a bit further or a bit off more to the side. From here, all you're going to do is squat down and come back up, reaching that back knee toward the ground. Try your best to keep your hips really hard pressed toward the front. You're going to really feel a stretch in the front part of that hip flexor, and you'll definitely feel the glute of the front leg really working. You may even feel some tension in the quad of the back leg. I have my foot kind of curled around the top of this just because it feels easier on my foot. If you have a flat surface that you need to put your foot onto, you'll probably do kind of ball of the foot, pulling the toes back, keeping that position the entire time. When you start to flatten the foot out like this, but you're on a flat surface, it puts a little extra stress on the ankle, not really that convenient. So beyond that, whenever you set yourself up, when you squat down, try to be sure that the knee stays pretty much behind the toes. If you start having such a short stance that your knee is going way out in front, or maybe you don't have super ankle flexibility like I do, and your heel comes up, you don't want this. You really don't want to be pushing through your toes on this exercise. You want your heel to stay on the ground. You want a really solid base here. So generally, heel on the ground, knee is staying behind that front toe, dipping the back knee to the ground just like that. And you'll want to repeat, go through all of your repetitions on one side before you move to the other, going all the way down, all the way back up, and then switching legs, repeating the process on the opposite side. And if and when you start to incorporate weight, generally you'll use dumbbells. Barbells can be used as well, but for now, body weight will work.